Hey everybody, welcome to Visual Communication and Media. My name's Adam Rozeski. Welcome to the end of week 3. We're almost halfway through the course. Really cool, right? So we're ending perceptual communication, really adding a lot with how cultures really act with a lot of things and how everything kind of plays a part with everything. So your assignment this week deals with how to focus on images and logos. So let's talk about logos a little bit more in detail. So just give everybody a heads up. I gave your grades back. If you have any questions, let me know. Everybody did pretty well this week, so good job on that. Other than that, let's get into it a little bit. So yeah, logos is really interesting because logos are another sign or symbol that has a lot of interpretation, but it means ownership in a lot of ways. These are a visual representation of the product company experience. Now, they have to be simple and easy to understand. They need to translate in size. And this also directly correlates to the experience as well. Font, style, format. These must always be considered when including cultural elements. That's one of the things you have to keep in mind with. So a lot of times they have to correlate to the experience. For example, when we take a look at the target, the bullseye right here, this bullseye is like the equivalent to the experience you're going to have. Like this is the area you want to go and be the target area for finding all the stuff that you need. That's what it really matters. And that's what Target tries to be. They want to be the one-stop shop for everything that you need. And Nike is the same way too. This is the Greek symbol for athleticism. So they try to use that Greek symbol to identify them as a sporting material company or a sport creation company and product company. That's really what they focus on. And that's what the logos are supposed to do. They're supposed to be simple, easy to understand, and correlate to the experience that that company's trying to push over. It's their identity mark. That's really important. Now, there's a lot of different types of logos out there. There's actually 7 different types. And some of them use combination methods as well, but we'll get into that a little bit. So let's talk about some of these methods. So first one right here is the abstract mark. So this is the Pepsi logo right here. Abstract marks are very abstract in a way. They don't have a really direct relation to some type of visual out there or some type of correlation. It's just that mark that's meant for that company. Pepsi is one of those companies. I don't know the story behind this logo, but I know it's an original logo and it doesn't have any like inspiration based upon it. I'm sure there is, but Pepsi's always used this logo, and it's just a very abstract mark to where it doesn't, it relates to Pepsi, but it's not really the end goal of everything else. So that's the thing. Now, there's also mascot logos. Mascot logos are very interesting in the fact that they focus on the mascot of the product, and that's what KFC does right there. They put the Colonel out there. So a lot of times they see that. You'll see the Colonel on baseball teams that decide to put like their mascot on. I think that's one right there. There's a lot of different ways you can use your mascot. It's a good way about that. For example, Geico, the gecko. They put the gecko on everything. That's a mascot logo. That's huge. So that would be good. Now, we also have combination marks, and combination marks tend to use two or more versions of a logo and combine them together. We'll get in this a little bit later, and we'll talk about the Burger King logo in a little bit. But emblem logos are really interesting. They're very traditional. They are very focused on organizations, groups, institutions, families. They tend to come back from heraldic knights and all those very European cultures of family traditions and symbols. And these are where these emblems came apart. A lot of times for Harvard, this is Harvard's logo right here. It stands for Veritas. It stands for truth. It has the wreath around it. Not only that, Veritas, the word right there is a Latin word for truth. It's understanding truth and finding truth. That's what Harvard's always been a stance upon. And that's how that school's been built upon. So that's why Harvard uses that logo. Now, there's other pretty simple ones. There's letter marks. Letter marks are technically acronyms for big names. For example, NASA, National Association Space Administration, I forget if Administration or Association comes first. I'm getting old. It's not good. But yeah, that's NASA. It's an acronym for it. It's like SHIELD, for Avengers, like Strategic Homeland Intervention and Logistics Division. And that's SHIELD right there. So, and that's a letter mark. Anything that's an acronym of the main phrase, that's a letter mark. Now, there's also pictorial marks. They're just an image of what's going on. Target was one of those pictorial marks, as we talked earlier. Apple is one as well, where it's just an apple, it's a black apple, it automatically relates to Apple computers. And then finally, we have word marks. Word marks are just the company name all in one. Like Google. Google's a short word. They can spell it out in one word. Geico, that's another one. I hate to use that. They use 2 logos, one with a gecko and one with just the word itself. Progressive insurance companies like doing that. Medical companies, they're just word mark. That's it. It's just the word, and that's it. Now, combination marks, they combined multiple different types of logos into one. So, for example, for Burger King, they actually use an abstract one to kind of use multiple shapes to create a burger and using the words as the meat. And then they use a work mark to explain what it is. And that's Burger King right there. So they're using an abstract mark combined with a word mark with a little bit of pictorial in the same way, too. There's a lot of different methods used in this. But yeah, logos can have a lot of different techniques. So keep that in mind. This should help you out in your assignment. So if you have any questions about logos or anything, let me know. There's a lot of good things about that. Other than that, that's all I got. Do keep in mind that you have your assignments due on Sunday. Your discussion's due tonight. I'll make some discussion posts tonight so that way I can comment on some of your work. And that's pretty much it. Then we move on to the next week in week 4. So, all right, everybody, have a great week. Enjoy, be safe, take it easy, and I hope to see y'all later. So have a great weekend. Call me if you need me. That's all I got. Have a good one. Bye-bye.